Welcome to part three. We're joined by Ellis. What area did you say you were from, Ellis?
I'm from Blackburn, mate, in Lancashire.
Yeah. Big shout out to John from Welcome Estates. Hope you're well and I hope your family friends doing well at hospital. We're saying a prayer for John. Hope you're well. Big shout out to Gary as well and his wife Jane and family. Yarrow Miller came out of a day doing various interviews. He's quite controversial, isn't he, Jarrell Miller? Uh, they're saying he's about £350. He's saying he can get down to £300 and do some damage in the division. Joe Fraser beat Ali and he weighed 199, so he'd be a cruiserweight today, Joe Fraser. I
Yeah,
don't think that these people carrying this extra weight and stuff, you think it's good for their health? You know, if he wanted to get in, I mean, he wanted to get in over £100 heavier than Joe Fraser. Do you think it's needed all that weight? Obviously, you look like you got gym yourself. You look after yourself. It's so
yeah. No,
big.
it's again going back to what I said. It's not always that you have to be body beautiful, but you have to be fit. And there's a difference between you get people out there who will never have the abs, the six pack, and whatever, but the fit as a butcher's dog. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah,
your genetics at the end of the day. But being 350 pounds is not genetics at all. It's not genetics. It's laziness. You're cutting corners on your diet, and you're sort of disrespecting the sport of boxing. If he was training and dieting the way he should be, he'd probably be, yeah, it'd be less. It'd be certainly less than £300. Be late 200s because he's obviously a heavy set guy, and I get that. You get them physiques, don't you? But £350 is limiting himself because you can't really when you're as big as a truck like that. Boxing's a fluid sport. You need to be able to turn your shoulders, turn your hips, and sit down on your punches correctly. And that amount of mass just doesn't allow for it, does it? So there's no place for it really. Like I say, it's not about being the most ripped and everybody looking like David Hay or Anthony Joshua. I'm not saying that, but you can tell when someone's cut corners and when they're not fighting to the best of the ability, and it shows when they're goosed after 4 rounds, doesn't it? And they're just a standing punch bag. So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Uh, Crawford Ashley. I don't know if anybody's seen my most viewed video. Go and have a look. It's got most popular video on the channel. Crawford Ashley, a good friend of mine. I like him. He's having it tough at the moment, Crawford. He's been in with Michael Nunn and other top fighters, Virgil Hill. He's selling his Lonsdale belt. I don't know if that's a good idea for Crawford to do that, really. Wouldn't it be best that he put it in, I don't know, a pawn shop or something? I don't know, if you sell it, you might not get it back. Or sell it to somebody on with a contract that when you pay the money back, you can have it back. I don't know. I don't know what's the best thing to do. Somebody's reached out to me through the Facebook that my friend Simon Thompson from still runs Poker's Corner Facebook, but I don't comment on it. I know that if Simon runs all that, good guy. Do you feel that fighters from that era, the 80s and 90s, they didn't really get looked after?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an all too common. I mean, that's really sad to hear that about Crawford Ashley and
Yeah, yeah,
in putting his Lonsdale. But I mean, nowhere near the heights of Crawford Ashley. But I boxed as an amateur and had a few fights when I was in the military, and I've got belts and trophies and stuff like that, collecting dust in the loft. But it means so much to me. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
I trained hard for them fights, and I'm proud of it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I can only imagine what a British title means to somebody. He must look. He must hold that belt and think, I really did achieve something in the sport, and it's a lovely belt to look at. And it is a bit of a crying shame to hear that
mm,
he'd want to get rid of that. So yeah, it's an unforgiving sport in that sense because you don't always get rewarded financially. I mean, it's never been more apparent than nowadays, isn't it? It's the ones that get financially rewarded are the ones that are sellable and have a media presence, not necessarily the ones who can talk with a fist. If you can do both, excellent, you're a promoter's dream. But there's some kids who can really fight and really box out there, but they might be shy in nature or they just, it doesn't exactly always attract the sharpest tools in the shed, does it? Boxing. There's a lot of people who are a bit slow and they can't really articulate themselves, and unfortunately, that's not what promoters are looking for. And I think the lads back in the day, you know, especially the 70s and 80s, a lot of them they were out a lot more regular than today's fighters, and they were losing brain cells as they went along. And unless they hit them heights of being on TV, it's quite likely that they retired with not a lot of money and are not a lot more to offer the world because they won't have had trades behind them or they won't be like office men or whatever. So I just hope they all find a way and find a second way of getting an income really, and they've kept the faculties intact. But that's not always the case, is it?
No. Okay. I forgot my train of thought now. Do you feel that social media has had a big part to play in boxing in the last 10, 15, maybe 10 years? Because I'm looking now and I'm looking at fighters that are getting opportunities, right, and they're very vocal on social media, whereas in the past they would have been discarded like rubbish. And there's fighters that maybe have had one loss or two losses and they're at the bottom of the pile. And then we look at your other fighters, your Chisoras and your White Rhinos and Johnny Fishers and stuff like that. Your limited guys, they're never going to win world titles, but they're vocal on social media. Do you think that has an effect, and that some other fighters can think that it's not right? I mean, I know fighters who've got 2 or 3 losses and they're out of game. And like you say, you see your Chisoras, just keep digging them up, don't
Yeah, definitely. I think the ones who would be more sort of bitter about it would be the ones that just came towards the end of their career, just as the social media era
they? Yeah.
started. Because I mean, well, Froch was his career ended in the social media era, but if it was around earlier, he would have probably got a few more quid out of the game. Calzaghe, you know, I mean, could you imagine Naz? If Naz was around with social media, he'd
Oh, Nas now would be 100 million a fight. It'd be like
oh
Mayweather, wouldn't it?
yeah, unbelievable. So there'll be a few thinking, you know, I missed the boat on that one, but end of the day, they can still hold their heads high. They've all had great careers, but yeah, financially, I think a lot of them fighters would have been. I mean, imagine Ali with social media; it'd be unbelievable, wouldn't
Mm,
it?
yeah, yeah, it's craziness. What do you make of the Froch intense beef with Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hill's getting involved? Now the Gad's coming out saying, Kessler flogged you and Ward schooled you and you were limited, and Frank Smith saying you're jealous, and Bellew coming out saying, well, fight Darren Till down in alley. And do you think Froch loves all this and it's banter, or do you think it's just got a bit out and what do you think?
Yeah, it's all entertainment in it, but with boxing, I sort of I don't fanboy and love up to certain fighters. I love certain qualities about different fighters. Like Froch, I love Darby was a warrior. He had his fitness and his chin and all the rest of it, and I like watching his fights. But once the curtains close on your career, um, I liked you because I like boxing and I liked you as a boxer. If you want to go into the media side of things, then I'm not really. It's not really my place to comment. And if you want to stay in the limelight, good for you. If you want to go into obscurity, good for you.
Mm.
And he's gone down the route of he wants to stay in the mix, doesn't he, Carl? So
Mm.
and he's sort of took the stance of I'm going to shoot from the hip and I'm going to ruffle feathers, but in that sort of media circle where people back their own company, he's up against the losing battle, and because they're all gonna stick up for AJ, aren't they? And he's going hard on the AJ's finished stance, which he pretty much is, isn't he? He's not telling any lies there.
Do you think the
But
media are scared to say what he's saying regarding Joshua?
yeah, they're gonna get the back up against him, aren't they? So he's he's taking the villain role, isn't he? Which is probably not what he wants. Because if you want to get in through the back door and get in that gang, you can't be taking the opposite stance, can you? But
Do you think if Eddie promised him a drink and he did, if they had it off with Joshua, for the introduction, so we're going to go with Bricktop, by the way. Do you
mhm.
think now, I mean, after like 12, 13 years since Olympics. Well, it's 13 years, isn't it? 12, 13 years. You think now, after all this amount of time, if he's not had his age ring, think he's ever going to get it? Not Eddie. Every time he collars Eddie at the show, Eddie's like, hey, I've always loved you, Carl. Quick selfie and that. Call you in week. And then they might not see each other for 4 months. Do you think that boat sailed, or do you think that drink is on its way?
Does he need a drink? I'm pretty sure he's doing all right. No, I don't think it's coming. If it was done as a sportsman's handshake or a gentleman's handshake, then yeah, that's for them to work out. But
Well, they had a shake on it, didn't they? They had a shake on
yeah,
it. That bit,
yeah,
that
yeah,
bit thing in Carl's head, I think. And I agree with Carl on that. I do.
yeah. If
And you
they've had
shouldn't
the
say
gentleman's
things like
handshake,
that unless you can back it up. What?
yeah. If they've had the gentleman's handshake, then they should honour it, shouldn't they? But I wasn't there. I wasn't. I don't know Carl from Adam on a personal sense, so it doesn't affect me in any way. So
Okay.
yeah, but if he's owed it, then yeah, she'll get it.
Robert McCracken took a lot of stick for Gal Yafai the other night. What do you make of it all and that fight and the DAZN punditry?
Yeah, like I say, I caught it on the highlights, the Yafai fight. He looked like he really did take a fair play. He showed a lot of heart sticking in there till the end, didn't he? But he took a real good beating. That guy had fast hands and powerful hands by the looks of it, and he was just swarming him. But for me, with McCracken, I don't doubt that he's a good coach and he's a good trainer, but he's got his style and it comes undone, doesn't it? I think it was perfect for Froch. Froch had unbelievable fitness, unbelievable height, and he had a good chin. But I've been watching a few Froch fights recently on YouTube. His hand was he used to keep his jab in hand. It used to annoy me. It was down by his knee, weren't it?
Whipped
Carl?
up from his waist.
Yeah, he's so
Whip.
dangerous, but it worked for him, didn't it? But yeah, McCracken fighters seem to be going gung ho. Let's go toe to toe and let's get them out of there, and it works till it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like he's got a plan B, and they're not. They're certainly not slicks. There's no one who comes out of his camp, so I can understand how people would say that the jury's out, but he certainly whips them into good shape, and they've always got good engines, haven't they? So can't fault him on that. But yeah, will Galal Yafai jump ship now? I don't know. I don't know. Don't know where his loyalties lie, but you might see a few changes there. But have to wait and see, won't we? Of
Ben Eubank too. What do you make of it? Does it happen in October like they're saying now?
course, it happens. It's the biggest fight for a minute. It's money. Do I think it should happen? No, not really. Do I want it to happen? No, not really. Um, it weren't close, was it? If you're talking about the Marcus of Queensberry rules and scoring rounds, Eubank won by a landslide, didn't he? It wasn't a close fight that they keep trying to say it was, and that was with the caveat of they had him drained and he had no mustard on his punches, did he? Because he was absolutely goosed, Eubank. But I thought he won conclusively, didn't he? So the rematch isn't necessarily warranted in my opinion, but it will happen. Yeah, to answer your question.
Mm. Yeah. Do you think it's deserved?
No, but obviously they wouldn't be in the position they're in without their surnames. So you could argue they don't deserve it, but at the end of the day, they've been given a golden ticket to make life changing money off the surnames. Are they stupid to do it? No, they're not. Of course, it's the one that makes sense, isn't it? So I can't begrudge them for doing it, can I? But it's not really a fight that holds any relevance in terms of progressing their careers. It's not a top 10 world title challenging fight, is it? I mean, they might make up some little belt for them, but it doesn't really count for much, does it?
What do you make of all that rehydration stuff and pictures of Eubank in saunas and all that, and him having to go in front of the board?
Yeah, I mean, I've only just sort of learnt about this recently about fighters not being allowed to use saunas and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm not being funny. I thought saunas, they've always had health benefits, haven't they? I mean, I get it. It's not healthy boiling yourself down the night before and stuff like that. But what? So if they get seen down the local, spa, is that grounds for someone to grass them in because they've been in a? I mean, I don't know how far you go with it, but yeah, it's um, it's a bit of a murky grey area, that isn't it? And I get it. If someone's dehydrating unsafely, then it does need to be policed, doesn't it? But it seems to be like it's one rule for one and another for another, doesn't it? So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
What do you make of Chavez getting pulled out? That Adam Azim, not Adam. What was it now? The
Yeah, Adam Azimi.
Adam Azim fight,
Yeah.
won it at Barnes on the Callum Simpson show. What did you make of that? The board doing that, but yet they didn't pull the Eubank Ben fight.
Yeah, and it was off the back of a hearsay, wasn't it? Like a rumor,
Back of a
apparently.
phone call.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas you've got Eubank on all the Instagrams and stuff showing it. So yeah, I don't know. Again, but that's one for Robert Smith. That's not for one for me to answer. It's how can you pull a fight off the back of a rumor and not pull a fight off the back of him blatantly saying, "Look at me, I'm killing myself to made away." It's obviously it's money at the end of the day, isn't it? And I'm sure that's got something to do with it.
Well, the board get their cut, don't they, off it? And they got a nice big cut off that Ben Eubank fight, and they'll get another one off the second one. I think it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But from what I'm hearing, they're trying to move it to Saudi now, Ben Eubank too, because there's a delay on it. So maybe that's where the money is. Maybe DAZN want it on out there, and maybe they might be having some Turkey and Dana White fighters on the show. I don't know. I don't think the Saudi thing is going to go away at the moment, is it?
No, definitely not. Yeah, I could see that fight happening over there. But the thing is that Eubank Ben one, the first one, was such a success, and I watched it at a local pub, and it was good. Do you know what I mean? I think it engaged the Brits, didn't it? So it'd be a shame to see it go over there, really, when it can generate that sort of buzz again in the UK. I'm all for that for boxing, big boxing fights over here. Even if yeah, it was a bit of a gimmick fight, wasn't it? But
Yeah,
it it entertained. The fight entertained, didn't it? And
yeah,
it gets people talking about it, doesn't it? Which is what we want.
yeah. We do. Who's your top pound for pound fighter in the world at the moment, Ellis?
It's still Usyk. Until he's retired or gets beat, it has to be Usyk just because of what he's achieved. It's his career's second to none in it. And then just behind him, you've got your Crawford. There's an argument for Crawford in new A. Canelo's in the mix as well. In that Benavidez, there's a lot of there's world champions in there, and then there's that elite. These sort of your Canelos. He's not just your average run of the mill world champion. He's a step above. Crawford's not a run of the mill champion. He's elite. So it's take your pick after Usyk in it. But yeah, I think Usyk's still got the crown for me, bud.
Oh, you got as the winner in the Crawford Canelo fight, Ellis.
Uh, I'd like to see Crawford win. I've got a soft spot for Crawford. I do like him. I think he can do a bit of everything, can't he? But my head, I tend to go with my head over my heart. I think it'd be too big for him. He's definitely not going to stop him. No one stops Canelo. His chin's too good, isn't he? And he's wiry and slippery as well. But um, I don't know. I hope they get stuck in, and I hope it's not a stink fest. You know what I mean? Um, if Crawford can nick a points win, then fantastic. He'd have to go probably number one pound for pound for what he's just done. But my head's saying I don't. It's a big task in it. I don't think he'll get through the brick wall that is Canelo, and he hits hard. Does Canelo? He's not no super welterweight, is he? He's a big boy, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. I'll be watching it though.
Oh yeah, you're looking forward to it, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. It's one for the hardcores. I don't think it really will get the juices flowing in the public because I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think many people know who Crawford is, did he? But if you went down your local pub, they probably wouldn't know who he is. But as a boxing fan, yeah, it's one for the hardcores, isn't it?
If he walked in my local pub, I'd expect him to say, "What do you want, white or brown?" All right
Yeah,
then, kid.
yeah. All right, man.
Right, nice to have you on, Ellis. You've been fantastic. We'll have you on again, mate, next week. How's that?
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, man. I enjoyed it, mate.
Just let me
All
know
right.
whenever you want to come on. Just give me a WhatsApp text. All right, kid.
All right, bud. Cheers.
You take care. Have a great day.
See you in a bit.
Thank you very much. Nice free party there with Ellis. Women love him. Men want to go to gym with him and pump iron. That's about it. Pop, pop, bang. I think I'm going to go out for a nice walk now. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Get your emails sent to me. We're going to do Saturday morning. That is because some people are from different countries who have plenty to say in the comment section. I'm going to do it Saturday morning in the UK, 10 a.m. All right. The first 3 people to email me after you've seen this video, the first 3 people, and you'll get on. But show some balls this time and at least click on the link. Could have a special troll day. All right. I'm going to get 3 trolls and me on a Zoom. We're going to have some fun. You got to show your face. I want to see what you look like in your bed sits. Come on, peace out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Top up, bang! But Peter DeFreitas coming on next week as well. I hope you're well, Peter. Good luck with your treatment. Love Peter, don't we, honey? He's very popular. That's about it. Booyaka.